So today we're going to work on something we haven't worked on the channel in a long time. I think it's been like 5 years since I posted a video on it. But it's something that's kind of long overdue. The suspension's been completely blown out of it. And it's a platform people don't work on very often. It's not the EP3, not the Miata or the S13s. It's going to be turning Isabel Sonic from this into this. So we're going to slam this car. In this video, we're going to add washers to the rear to camber it like that. And we're going to roll fenders, cut sway bar lengths. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. We're going to make this car as low as we possibly can with what we have. There's a lot of little things, but let's get started on it. First few things we're doing is obviously getting the struts out of it, and then getting the wiper cowl off and the wipers off, because these GM ones are a total pain in the ass. You gotta get the nuts underneath the wiper cowl. One side out nice and easy. I cut the sway bar because we got new sway bars, so instead of just fighting with it, it's easier just to snip it out. So now we just get one of these tiny coilovers, which is going to be way easier than that big assembly to get back in there. It is lowered on Ibach lowering springs. They're just, the struts are clapped out and the back springs are broken more than once. So it's time for them to go, and we got these so cheap that might as well throw coilovers on this old thing now. So just slap it all back together. Comes apart pretty easy. As long as those top bolts don't spin. You need a special tool from GM to do it properly. But honestly, if you hit it with an impact hard enough, they just spin right off like nothing. So now we just gotta throw it all back together. I'm gonna go take the other side apart too and do everything the exact same on the other side. So yeah, there's no sense in filming the other side when they're both the exact same. I've had these forever, solid ones from Moog that are greasable, so I like to use them if we can, but you're probably supposed to run shortened sway bar lengths on the setup. But if it's not totally slammed, we'll just adjust the rest of the coilovers to it. I don't know what the height on these coilovers were set for, but I know that the car already had like a 2.5 inch drop, so we'll add that to it and see where we're at. It's in, the sway bar link is on. But I had to adjust it really high up. When the tire's on, it's not too bad. It looks pretty much where it was before, but there's no weight on the car, so I don't know where it's going to sit when there's weight on the car. But for right now, I'm going to use that as my starting point. I'm going to measure this gap and then set the other one to it before putting it in the car. If it's slammed, we will deal with it. If it's not, if it doesn't move as much as I think it's going to, I might actually even lower it more than that, because we do want this like a little bit lower than what was there. If we're putting coilovers on it, we might as well go lower than just the drop kit was. But yeah, I pulled the knuckle up pretty damn high, so it's hard to tell without putting the weight on it. I'm gonna go around and do the other 4 corners, at least do the other one the same as this. The back is probably gonna need adjusting though, because if this guy had it set up square, then this is obviously gonna be different than the back. So I might have to do a lot of adjusting and screwing around. The backs I should be able to adjust with the wheels on, which would be really nice, but I'm basically gonna do everything you saw on this side on the other side now, and I'll pick it back up there. So I got both sides in. It wasn't too bad, the sway bar link, until I got both of them on and it pushed the sway bar down. Now the sway bar literally pushes into the control arm. So I'm gonna take these to work and cut them on the bandsaw and take like an inch or so out of them. They definitely need shorter ones. I pushed the coilover all the way up just to see if it'd make a difference, but it just pulls the whole knuckle and control arm up as well. So I'm gonna zip the sway bar links back off and we can run them without sway bar links for now. I kind of knew that was probably gonna happen, but I figured since they were actually going in, it'd be all right. It's just as soon as you tighten everything up, it just pulls them both down too far. But it's no big deal. You can easily cut down and weld those sway bar links a little shorter. But we're gonna move on to the back now. So I'm gonna probably leave this kind of how it is, and then we will see how low everything is and adjust it from there. But yeah, stock sway bar link doesn't really work, but it's steel, so easily cut and weld it. Last night there was a little bit of an issue. The backs wouldn't go low enough. The front's pretty good, but the back could go lower. However, her tire combination doesn't really let her get that much lower without cambering it, so we're gonna kind of run it how it is. But the original Megan springs that came with it are way too big. This was like, this with the carrier on it was probably about an inch higher than that. So I took the carrier off first, and then it still wasn't low enough, so I took the springs out. And I actually have smaller springs that are actually technically for the 8.6, but fit in those perches on it right now to make it sit how it's sitting at the back. Most people run 17s or 18s on these cars. If that was the case, it would look really slammed because the iron rim would be right up in the fender. But since she's running 15s, it's kind of a little bit harder. Plus, with the adapters, they're 15x8s, so they have the poke. Front doesn't poke as much. The front is great. If the back was like the front, we wouldn't have an issue with it at all. It clears when she turns, everything. But she's pretty damn low. Like, it needs blocks just to get up on this now. You can see where it's scraped. This is kind of where we're at. I got the smaller spring in there, which I'm not too worried about if we get the shock to hold in there, because it won't go anywhere. It fits perfectly in both perches. But this is the height difference we need. We need that shock to be up to here, but that collar's seized. So I'm gonna pull it all back off and try to unseize that collar so we can turn that shock up to fit the height that we have for these springs. Back in, it's absolutely maxed all the way down those can go. The spring stays in there now. It still moves, but like the car won't really ever be hanging like this, so it doesn't actually move out of the perch now because it shouldn't ever go left and right, especially with the weight of the car on it. So that's much better. Before, it was literally like that spring would fall out when I jacked up the car, so I feel a little bit better about that. But I do want to get smaller ones. It'd be nice to get proper smaller ones for this car and put the adjuster back in like a lot of stance kids do, but we ain't got the money for that right now. We're doing a full coilover setup for 200 bucks, so kind of using what I have laying in the backyard. Those I think are off of a Toyota Starlet if I remember, but they work pretty damn good for a Chevy Sonic, at least for right now. We'll see how bouncy they are and whatnot. I don't think it'll be in there forever, but one thing is though, she's definitely going to drag that exhaust off this car. Any crown road, it's going to hit that exhaust, so that's going to be fun. But she wants it low, so we'll put it as low as we can. Got these at work and welded them. They're mostly straight. Throw some paint on them real quick, and at least get the sway bar links back on it. And then flip it around and we'll try to do something about the rear. The rear definitely rubs, just going down the street a little bit, rubs on this side. And it almost rubs on the other, so it's not dailyable like this, but we'll figure it out. It's a lot of people say this is the right way to do it, but GM literally sells a spacer for camber adjustment if you had to line the rear end for whatever reason. So 2 good washers is going to do the exact same thing. Unfortunately, we got one more thing to do. Fender roller. Turns out those fronts do kind of rub a bit under hard driving, and the way that the front lip is kind of curved in, it kind of pulls the whole fender off when it does touch. So we got to do something about it before it like destroys the whole front fender. So we're gonna roll it and see what happens. Thing in the world, but it's got a little flare in there now. I don't want to go too crazy with it, but still looks all right from afar. That'll be enough. That it's basically, I just want to get the little lip on the inside rolled over, so she should be all right now. Just do the other side a little bit. We're not going for perfect. Normally you'd heat the paint and make it so it doesn't crack, but as you can see, we even got a dent out that was here. So this fender, both fenders aren't that great, and all the crap that fell out of them, they're probably rusted on the inside from all the stuff sitting in them. We live on a dirt road and she drives it all year long, so it's just full of dirt and crap. And then her sticker needs to be redone anyways. It's been on there for like 6 or 7 years, so it's starting to flake a little bit, but we got the inside lip rolled right over, which is what we're going for. I did pull the fender out a little bit, but basically rolling that lip is what I was going for. This one is actually bent so far out, I had to tap it back in with a hammer first before rolling it. But yeah, this car should be hopefully done now, at least done enough to drive it.